Hello and good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, December 14th. 11 days left till Christmas. That's exciting. We don't have any Christmas content planned today, any holiday content, but we do have some that's accumulating. So we'll have a nice little episode about that to revisit some last minute gifts, talk about holiday parties and things. But that's not today. Today is the celebrity edition of the Plant Based Morning Show, which is kind of fun. I am one of the least informed people in the world about celebrities, so it should be good for you, the listener, to hear such celebrity news that I'm able to give. There's Doug. He looks over it.
I'm having a bad day, Matt.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You're expressing it with your the way you're leaning in your hand there.
Oh yes, I had this whole bit planned, man. This gonna come with a big platter full of Burger King Impossible Whoppers for Impossible Whopper Day. And you know what? My local Burger King. I went to the app to sign on. My local Burger King that's down the road isn't taking online orders right now.
Oh no.
And you have to do it through the app or you don't get the deal. So my whole thing was ruined.
Okay, you were actually going to do that, or is this itself a bit?
This is not a bit. I was really going to do it.
Good. Okay.
My mouth has been salivating for the last, since last night, getting ready for these Whoppers. and they're not taking online orders, and I decided it wasn't worth driving 15 miles to the next the next Burger King to get it.
And what would you have done with a plate of Whoppers? Just let them get cold and then reheat later?
I don't know. I actually had that thought too. I wasn't sure. I mean, I was gonna eat one for lunch and maybe give one to Katie for lunch, but
yeah. Oh, that's too bad. You've been counting down the days since we announced the $3 Whopper Day.
I know. I'm gonna call them and tell them they need to turn on their online orders after this is over. So
is it just because it's in Black Mountain and it's sort of a simpler time and they don't really use apps there?
No, because I actually checked last night because I went through I hadn't fully set up all my perk stuff and hadn't figured out the whole app thing. So last night, I've been preparing for. I'm telling you, I've been preparing for this for a while now. I've been pretty stoked on it. I went I went on last night and figured out how to place orders, and you could do that through the one. So they just, for whatever reason, they haven't turned it on today.
Oh, just for today?
Last night I could have ordered last night.
You might still get it for dinner tonight, as you
planned. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Just
your fun isn't all just the show bit. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the commitment to the show. I appreciate that you even thought of getting a plate full of Whoppers for your entrance. I mean, that's good because I'm concerned that the entrance is that there's nothing else to do. If you're going to start doing that stuff, you're going to keep setting a higher and higher bar, and eventually you're going to be just doing outlandish things to make your entrance. It should be good. All right. Well, reminder that is today. It's not Thursday. I think we misspoke at some point, saying that the $3 Whopper Day, one of Burger King's I don't know what it is, holiday. I don't know the name of their countdown, but some sort of thing. Today's $3 Impossible Whoppers, and you have to get it through the app. You have to be a Royal Perks member or something. So anyway, but it's today. It's not tomorrow. Like I think I definitely said at one point it was Thursday.
Yep. Mr. Jeffrey says maybe that's the gag. $3 only through the app, but no stores are accepting mobile orders today.
Maybe it's a big prank on vegan. Mm-hmm. I doubt they would do that though. They seem to be on our side. All right, so we got a bunch of people have responded. We asked, I think it was yesterday, it might have been 2 days ago. We said, people, please let us know what you think of the show. Just trying to figure out what to do with the content and such. Not that we're at a loss here, or just trying to be aware of what people like. And we got some very nice feedback. I wouldn't say anything really constructive. There wasn't much that you guys should change this, do this, but a lot of people said very nice things, that they like it. It feels like friends hanging out, which is always what I'm going for. I also just happened late breaking, Doug. I just saw this a few seconds ago before we went live. It was we gotta get those lasers in there. That effect. Although I guess you can just do it for us. This is from ProVeg International. They put out a list. They put it out on December 1st, so it's not really late breaking, but it's late breaking for me because they only just tagged us on Instagram to make us aware of it. They put out the 10 best vegan podcasts, and we have actually mentioned ProVeg a couple times in these articles. We talk about a ProVeg survey, and we've wondered, does that mean the survey is valid, or is it just going to be biased toward vegan stuff? never reached a consensus there, or we weren't criticizing. It was just a joke. Anyway, they put us number 7 is the Plant-Based Morning Show. It says keeps you updated on what is going on in the plant-based world, filled with humor, entertainment, and fascinating facts. It streams every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Central European Time, which makes it an afternoon show in Europe. And then they describe us a little bit, and I just thought it was cool. I love seeing that this show is getting on these lists. It makes me happy.
I know, that is awesome. That's great. Very cool.
Yeah. So anyone else is encouraged to do similarly if you're making lists, because it's good for us to see that this show is legitimate. All right, so that's that one. Like I said, other nice things were sent in. But again, people, just let us know. You feel free to DM us anytime and tell us on Plant-Based Morning Show Instagram account, and just tell us what you like, what you don't like, what we should do differently. Jeff told us that sometimes the sound, or maybe always, the sound cuts out right when one of us joins in, and I think that is true. There's always some sort of weird thing. So he says he then goes to the podcast to hear if he missed anything, which is it's a dedicated listener. I don't think everybody's going to do that because it's really only a couple seconds. But I don't think we can do anything about that other than maybe try to be quiet around that. I don't know. Or not really start the show until we're both in. But, then we could hold up a sign that says starting soon. I don't know. All right, but there was one bit of a call out, Doug, and I'll let you handle this one since you added it to the show plan. I read it myself, and I didn't know how to react.
Yeah, we got called out by Nick Knack, who sent us a message on Instagram. Said they couldn't believe we didn't know who Tabitha Brown was. I had said that she was a TikTok personality, a TikTok influencer. And Nick Knack points out that she has 2 New York Times bestselling books. The second one being her cookbook. She's the host of 2 TV shows, earned an Emmy nomination for her kids show, and has probably done more to advance the vegan plant-based awareness in the last 3 years than anyone. And I looked her up, and sure enough, she does have all those things, and those are great, and they just weren't on our radar for whatever reason. And so I'm glad he pointed that out. I'm glad we can call out that she's doing a lot more than just TikTok. Although I will say, in my defense, when you Google Tabitha Brown, there's a little about thing on the right, and the first thing that says, or one of the she says she's an American actress and a social media personality, which is what I said. And then the third sentence is Brown has 4 million followers on TikTok and 4 million followers on Instagram. And says nothing about her books or her TV shows. So I wasn't that far off. Maybe social media is how she's known by a lot of people. And then that has kind of lended or has contributed to her success with the books and TV and elsewhere. But her 2 books, I do want to call them out because they sound really good. Her 2 New York Times selling books are Feeding the Soul, Because It's My Business. And then her vegan cookbook is Cooking from the Spirit.
Okay.
So
good. Yeah. So I also have come across her stuff recently. She has a seasoning with McCormick, the spice blend. There's a Tabitha Brown seasoning. So you got to be pretty big time, I think, to get that because I don't know if it's sold grocery stores or just online. But you're kind of talking to everybody when you're putting your name on a spice. So that's for sure a good signal. On the other hand, I'm not going to apologize for not knowing who someone is. I don't know who anyone is, and the world is so fragmented now with the channels people pay attention to, which is cool. That's what the internet allows us. You can find exactly what your interests are and whatever. And it's also possible to not be at all aware of someone who's doing something very similar to what you're interested in, but just not quite the same or whatever. I don't know. So for whatever reason, I don't pay any attention to TikTok. I don't really watch TV, except for The Office reruns. So she has just not come across my radar. So,
but but I'm excited to learn more about her.
Sure. And by the way, she's a North Carolina resident. Doug lives in Eden, North Carolina, according to that same Google thing.
Maybe we should have her join the show.
Maybe. Like what? Drive here because she's in North Carolina?
I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing since it's a virtual show. But
well, what she could do is, if we ever get invited to the tasting party at the new cultivated meat factory in North Carolina from Believer Meats, which is from a Veg News article, we could that would be a good place to meet Tabitha Brown. you had jokingly said to me yesterday when we were talking about or maybe was it yesterday? Yeah.
Yep.
About the stakeholder foods they're tasting, and you said, how do we get invited? Like Anna something from Veg News did, and I said, well, it's based in Veg News is in San Francisco where this is, so that's probably why we didn't get invited. That's the only reason we probably didn't get invited. They just realized it was a long trip for us. I mean, yeah, this one is in our backyard. I actually didn't look up where Wilson County is or where.
I did look it up because I'd never heard of it. It's near Winston-Salem, so not quite backyard, but definitely within driving distance.
Right. That's closer to Tabitha Brown's backyard, though. So anyway, we can.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
So whenever that place is done, they just broke ground, I think, like yesterday. So it might be a little till they have finished this thing. But it's going to be good. And I guess I didn't really realize, maybe I had read this, that the pig population, or the pig farming industry in North Carolina had been in the news for supposedly poisoning residents in nearby towns or whatever, to where apparently, and North Carolina is the third largest pork production state, which I also did not realize. So it's I guess they're kind of positioning it as like, this is the solution to these pork problems, is we'll just make the meat in a brewery like setting. I can't really imagine this having much of an impact in the short term on the pork issues, but cool. I mean, I don't know. Like I just told my son yesterday, I was like, this is like this fake or this cultivated meat thing is happening, and like it's not going to be that long till we have the option of having this food if we want it. And he was like, well, I don't think I want that at all. I said, but it is really happening, which is funny because I mean, a month ago I would have said that still seems sort of like sci-fi future. That's pretty far away.
Yeah.
Then the one Upside Foods got approved by the FDA or green light or whatever. So it just, I mean, it's happening. I don't know how soon, but it will not be long. So very exciting. And now it's in our own state.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it'll be interesting. I mean, this is in the grand scheme of things, is a small facility. It has a capacity. The 200,000 square foot facility will produce 10,000 metric tons of meat. 10,000 metric tons sounds like a lot, but in 2020, more than 28.3 billion pounds of pork were produced in the United States. Actually, all right. So I was comparing
how many
pounds and tons. How many pounds are in a ton?
2,000, but I don't know about a metric ton. I don't know what that is. I know what a shit ton is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my guess is, so yeah, just 2,200 pounds in a metric ton. A large number. So this is very small in the grand scheme of things, but that's how it starts, I guess, right?
Yeah, right. It's good. Good news, exciting, interesting. It's right here. It's funny. Future is here. I also, by the way, I'm not going to go deep into this one, but randomly, not randomly, I saw on Veg News there was a story about Dunkin' Donuts in Chile, and they're now having a dulce de leche flavored donut there. I guess maybe across all the Dunkin' Donuts there.
Okay.
They're doing it though. It's Notco, which is, we've talked about a little bit. The company, I think, has partnered with Kraft, if I'm not wrong, Kraft Heinz, and they're doing several of these things that are in Walmart. Their technology is using artificial intelligence to determine what needs to be done to molecules to make them taste more like animal products. And so because of that, the AI taught them you should be using things like pineapple and cabbage and things as the inputs to make dairy have this certain little bit of funkiness that like actual dairy does. So just
is it working?
Well, Notco is the one that's doing this. It's their Giuseppe system, they're calling it. I don't know if that's what they're using for the dulce de leche thing. I'm not sure, but it seemed like that was a prior version of it had said to do that. So I don't know if that's actually what they're doing, but it's just another like every day there's new stuff where it's like it just gets more and more sci-fi every week, it seems, with the amount of stuff that they're doing. So I'm just amazed. It's crazy. It's scary to think about this happening in other sectors of the world besides turning animal food into plant food. I'm just terrified for what's going to happen with robots, basically.
Did you see, speaking of AI, did you see what China is doing? They I don't know if they're in the process of doing it or if they've actually done it, but they're trying to make AI images and video illegal unless it has a giant watermark saying that it was created by AI.
Okay.
so that you can kind of tell the difference. And I guess if you remove the watermark, or if you don't have the watermark, that the proposed implication, I mean, it's a fairly sizable punishment that you would get for doing so. So, that was kind of interesting as a way.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a total side note. The other day, I was shopping for. I went to the Indian grocery store in my town, and there were these people in front who I think were Hare Krishna, and they had me look at this little book, and they wanted me to donate, and I didn't, but I talked to them, and they were nice. And then on my way out of the store, they were like, "Hey, can we take a picture of you for our guru back in India?" And I said yes, because I don't know why I said yes. I think I was just thought they were really nice with the way that they graciously let me move on when I said I wasn't going to donate. So then I was like, this could be part of a two-phase scam where they do that at first, and then they get your picture later. And I'm like, the AI stuff with people's photos and videos now is terrifying to me. What, like, they can fake someone saying anything, doing anything. And I was like, why did I let that happen? But then I thought, we do all these hours of footage on this show. So if someone really wanted to, I think you only need a few seconds, but the more time you get of someone talking against the exact same background, they can make a nice AI fake rendering of us saying pretty much anything they wanted.
Oh yeah, I think that is not very far off. I think that technology already exists.
It does. It does. That's all like some sort of Obama fake thing that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah.
So whatever problems we may have, robots are going to make it worse and scarier. So you can forget all other problems. Just focus on robots. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. So number one, you're definitely going to be in marketing materials for that group.
I'm fine with that. I don't mind the marketing materials.
Okay.
I'm worried about other stuff.
But number two, I was thinking about this as I was reading Nick's feedback yesterday. That we're talking for 45 minutes every day, plus like a year. There's going to be so much stupid thing in this. It's like anyone who's getting recorded for an hour a day,
right?
Like you're just gonna say stuff that.
Oh yeah, complete contradictions of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you want to just pull out like whatever, just totally out of context things and string them together to make it sound like we're evil, you could totally do that. Yeah, I mean.
So I'm gonna come out and say right now, I'm not evil. Yeah. I love you guys. Love this audience. I love people.
Well, we're getting in front of it.
Animals,
and that's one of the reasons I'm telling this Hare Krishna thing, because if it comes out that I'm in some porn video or something and my face is on somebody, at least I warned people ahead of time that I was suspecting some sort of scam would be happening.
On some porn video with your face. I don't think it's because of this Hare Krishna photo.
I don't know. When I'm up at night, I'm awake at night, my head gets racing, and then I imagine the worst.
Mr. Jeffrey points out that someone could cut some things out of context and put together a snack medley
of, could do that.
Of me. They could do that.
Yeah, I still want to go make the video version of that.
Oh man.
Right. Well, we need a producer. We said this.
If I was doing on a Whopper right now, it'd be just like this show would be so much better.
It would. We still need a producer, someone who can go through the content and find funny stuff and share it and repackage it for free. So we put that call out there before, and no one really responded. I'm doing it again.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So if you have those skills, get in touch. All right, let's get on to more stuff. I mean, that was more stuff. The cultivated meat thing was real. All right, this is, like I said, the celebrity day of the Plant-Based Morning Show. We don't really talk about the celebrities much. Every now and then there's an article that comes up about a celebrity quitting veganism or going vegan, and we talk about those. But interestingly, this happened earlier this week on Plant-Based News, the story about, I don't know her name, but the actress who plays Wednesday Addams in Wednesday, she went non-vegan for the filming time. This one sounds somewhat more serious than that. James Cameron, vegan of 10 years, attends Dolphin Show to promote Avatar 2. And this is from Plant-Based News. Dolphin Show is in quotes. I don't know if that is the name of the show or if they're just mocking the idea of a dolphin show by putting it in quotes. I don't know. Because later they mock
the name of the show is I just read it. Where was it? Avatar: The Way of Water, and it's like
okay. That's his movie. That's the movie that's coming out.
Oh, well, it's a dolphin show. About that.
Yeah. No, it's okay. So in the first line, they quote a dolphin show. They put it in quotes. And later they say the show featured a number of dolphins performing tricks, and they put that in quotes. So I think maybe they're just, they refuse to use these terms, like normal terms, just because of just the ethics of it, I guess. I don't know. But the deal is, this is part of a tour they were doing for Avatar: The Way of the Water, which I don't know anything about except for those blue people. I've seen the ads a little bit during World Cup games or something. Like I said, never was in on Avatar, so I don't know what it's about. But they're doing a tour. They're going to dolphin shows, or a dolphin show in this case. Apparently, James Cameron even introduced the proceedings saying, "Welcome to Pandora," and that is referencing the fictional world that the Avatar stuff is set in. So we did that. Then the dolphins did all their thing, appeared to dance with a trainer. After the show, Cameron, I guess he applauded, and he seemed to claim that they had given permission. He said, "I'm sure everybody asked their permission to be in the show," which obviously is a joke, I guess.
Odd joke to me.
Right. And so now everyone's pissed, of course. They're saying you can't do this if you're vegan. And that this is something villains of Avatar would do, having the dolphins confined in concrete tanks and then using them as surfboards. I think that's literally in the show. I saw in the preview, I saw they were riding on these animals like surfboards. Not the dolphin show, in the Avatar movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, we just said yesterday. By the way, James Cameron is the one who thinks we should call our diet the Futurivore diet. So he is. I think he says he's vegan. He was. He had his name on the Game Changers as executive producer. I'm okay when someone says I'm not vegan anymore and I'm going to start attending dolphin shows, right? Like that's your choice, and I don't think it's a good thing in general for vegans to get mad at people who decide not to be vegan anymore. But you lose your vegan credibility as soon as you do this. So you can't keep saying you're a vegan to me and do this kind of stuff. So that's to me where the anger is. If he still wants to be a vegan leader or plant-based or whatever he is, you just can't be. I mean, no one's gonna take you seriously if you're doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, it was a very poor move, especially since it was him. I mean, this was like his name on it, right? Right? Or at least his movie's name on it.
Right. This isn't like he just showed up at a dolphin show and was caught there. It was like he did this as part of the publicity stunt.
Right.
Just, I mean, it seems like it would just be so easy to not do this one event, not go to the dolphin show one on the calendar.
Or not have the dolphin show. I mean, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, no, I don't mean. I'm saying, yeah, like, right. Don't associate Avatar with the dolphin show.
Right.
Just do a different tour, or make your tour not have that. I don't know. Who knows? So anyway, people are angry at him, and I think they are right to be.
Yeah,
in this case,
I agree. It's yeah.
Okay. You guys don't do any zoos or anything like that, Doug? The only thing we've done.
No, I was about to go into that topic and was debating whether to do that.
I mean, we can talk. I don't know. I'm always tempted, and I always think, because my daughter loves animals, and so for her to get to do that would foster a love for animals, and especially if we're there and you point out how sad some of this stuff is, or the whole thing is. But like we haven't gone to the Disney, whatever their animal thing is for this reason.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, right. We never built that into the plans because I just don't want to. I did some research on it. Some people were saying that they're like, very good in the way they do stuff, and other people said they work there and it actually isn't very good. So as far as I do, like, we don't do that stuff. We did go to the, what's it called? Nature Center. Is that what it is in Nashville?
Yeah.
Because that was like actual habitat, and I think a lot of it was rescues. But even that, like, I wasn't sure how much of it was total.
Yeah.
Like that, and how much was a zoo. But I haven't been to zoos, I don't think, ever with the kids because of that. So, but I hate that. I don't know. I hate that it happens.
Right.
The internet and artificial intelligence and all that technology, whatever, maybe not AI, but maybe some. That certainly makes it now that you can sort of experience what animals look and move and seem like without having to have them enslaved or confined. But certainly, I don't know. The water shows seem even worse. Those I would definitely not go to.
Water shows do seem worse. So I don't know how worse they actually are. I mean, a lion in a large habitat, but still confined to not a very large habitat, the size of a yard or something like that. Is that really any worse than dolphins in a giant pool, or any better? I don't know. So we do. From time to time, we've done that a couple times, and we went to the only zoo she's been to, or our kids have been to, is the Atlanta Zoo, which we went to along with some family. And I mean, I don't know. It's something I really struggle with because it doesn't fit my ethics at all. But at the same time, like the kids are super interested in that stuff, love seeing the animals, and it's a big, proper zoos can be very educational and motivating for for kids to like get further into animals and that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's something I definitely struggle with. And I don't know if there is a good answer. I mean, I think that the best answer is probably to not attend them, not go to them because to not support them. But at the same time, like, I don't know.
I mean, there are farm sanctuaries and stuff like that, right? So that is a way to do it. To see animals, be around animals, even closer to animals than you get in a zoo. Just not exotic animals, but that's okay with me. All right, moving on. Whole Health Experience loves the idea of an AI zoo, and that's what I actually meant was VR. I didn't say that, but the VR thing is cool, right? You could really go to essentially just like a zoo, but in virtual.
Yeah, or even like those old style what do you call now movie theaters have like really big ones, big screens. What is that called? IMAX. The old style IMAX that was in like museums that would like go over your head. Did you ever go to one of those?
I think so. Yeah.
Some museums still have them where it's like not, it's VR basically, but you're in a theater, but you can look around and like experience that whole thing. We've done that a couple times with animal, like both in the ocean and in like safari animals and stuff like that. And that was total mind blowing for Eliza to like experience like being in with the animals and kind of being able to experience that. And I agree. I think that's probably a much better way for us to expose them to those types of animals and that type of information than going to a zoo.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next celebrity topic. This is SBF. He's in the news all the time. He was the FTX founder? Yeah. Is it Sam Bankman-Fried or Sam Bankman-Fried? Doug, I've never heard anyone say
Fried.
it. I just read it. Fried. Okay. Well, he's not freed anymore. He's now he's been arrested. I was hoping to be freed so I could pull that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's been arrested in the Bahamas, and now he was denied bail. I don't know what. I think it was $250,000. I think I saw that somewhere. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yep. But denied. And when he made his appeal to why he should be allowed bail, he mentioned that he was a vegan. And he mentioned some other things too, some medication things. But the cover of New York Post, I don't have it directly in front of me. Let me pull it really quickly. On the cover says that he begs for bail because he's a, quote, depressed vegan. So, and he's standing, it's him with his hair all messed up and big and hairy.
I mean, that's kind of how he always looks, but.
Yeah, he does always look like that. But just, it's a shame that Vegan had to make the cover with him here because it just doesn't look great for vegans. Apparently he was pretty into this and still is, I assume, because this was just yesterday. But I guess he had donated a lot of money. I think, according to him, I don't know if it was truthful, and who knows now with this guy, but he had donated a bunch of money to animal welfare organizations and things like that. And I think he's pretty serious about his vegan diet. I never had heard this until now, so I'm surprised it wasn't out earlier. Maybe it was, and no one was looking for it. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's just funny that like ethically you could be so. I just think people who care enough about what they eat. It's a big decision to not eat animals, right? It involves, no matter how you say it, it involves some sacrifice. Like it just does, or takes effort to get to the point where it doesn't feel like sacrifice anymore. So like you have to. I don't know. I'm respectful of anyone who calls themselves vegan and actually is, because it just takes work and you have to care about other beings and things. So it's just crazy that like you can compartmentalize and you could be that way when it comes to this food, but do all the awful things he did with FTX. I actually don't know very much about it. I just
money talks, man.
Yeah.
Money will make you do crazy things.
Well, I mean, as much money as they were talking about as he was worth and making, you can see how you would just lose sight of all reality. I mean, it's just so, I don't know. It was crazy. So I don't actually know much. I have not read much about the story. I just know people hate him now.
I was at a coffee shop this morning and I was sitting next to some people who were talking about this and the conspiracies around SBF and are
there are conspiracies
right
too.
It was like, Oh my God, I was biting my tongue so hard. But but yeah, I mean, this is pretty funny. It's a pretty funny side thing about the vegan diet. The headline of the New York Post article is Sam Bankman-Fried denied $250,000 cash bail offer after begging judge to be let loose over vegan diet in ADD. it's like I mean, I don't know. My guess is the lawyer said, let's think of a couple of reasons why you might be able to get bail and vegan.
You don't think he was on his knees in front of the judge just literally
I do not think he was begging. But I'm a vegan.
So I guess we didn't clarify. It wasn't immediately obvious to me what that meant. I thought when I read it that it was saying he was just saying, well, I'm a good person. Like, look, I'm a vegan. I shouldn't have to do this. Yeah. But of course, what it is that he was saying you can't. And the ADD thing, his medication made this more clear. He's saying he can't have access to these things he needs while he's in jail, which is totally not a valid excuse not to go to jail at all. we talked a couple months ago about someone in, I don't know if it was Sweden. I think it was Sweden. Might have been a different country actually, where the person was suing the state over the lack of vegan food available to him in prison. And so I understand, we can argue about that, whether the diet should be protected and respected when you're in prison. But the solution is that the prisons would need to serve the vegan food, not that you don't go to prison.
Right. You just get a free pass from going to jail. No, this dude needs to be. I mean, I'm sure he will be. He was charged with many things, and they come with long sentences. So my guess is that they will have no trouble convicting him and putting him in jail for a very long time, which it seems. Who might have judged, but seems like the right move.
Right. Well, I'm gonna look up the conspiracies because I haven't heard any. Like I said, I've only barely followed the story, but it's everywhere. You can't miss it. So I will look that up. Speaking of conspiracies, the World Cup, has plenty of them, including now with the deaths of these journalists, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
wait, multiple journalists?
Yeah, this American guy, of course, Grant Wall, and then. A guy, I guess he was a photojournalist from Qatar, and he, on the same day as some other worker fell from a very high height off one of the stadiums, one of the migrant workers, this other guy died, and there was no explanation around it at all. So who knows? But anyway, a much more, I hope, sort of benign conspiracy theory there is that people are saying it's rigged for Argentina to win because they're getting way too many penalty calls for them. And I don't know that much about soccer. Believe it or not, as much as I talk about soccer and it's my whole life with my kids, I don't know that much about actual soccer. I just have not been watching for enough years to really know every single rule down to the nitty gritty. So it just looked like the guy yesterday ran into the keeper who was planted there trying to make a save on the ball, and then it was a penalty kick suddenly for Argentina. It appeared to me that it shouldn't at all be, but I don't really know. But they've had I guess 6 penalty kicks in the last 5 games called for them. Which is a lot. So who knows? But honestly, if it's biased in favor of Messi, I don't really care. I think he's earned that. I mean, it happens in all sports that the stars kind of get this respect. Like Michael Jordan, I'm sure got a lot of calls for him out of respect. He sort of earned it. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So I kind of get how that would go for Messi. Maybe not necessarily for the whole team because this was someone else who drew the penalty.
Yeah.
So that Messi could kick it.
PK or not, they outplayed. Croatia yesterday.
Yes, for sure. But I've heard other countries complain about Argentina rules as well.
Yeah.
Or the refereeing. Anyway, so that's conspiracy theories.
Man, we're going down a lot of rabbit holes today.
Yeah. All right, last one for the day, and then we'll save our holiday stuff, which I was thinking we might get to today. We'll save that for tomorrow, probably, maybe Friday. I mentioned this before. I foreshadowed that I would be of little use in analyzing any of this. This is Veg News, the top celebrity vegan news, the top 22 stories of 2022. The only ones I really know here are people who we've talked about before on the show, and I probably learned about them then. Let's run down quickly just the top few because they're the ones that I know the best for sure. Number 1, Kevin Hart takes on McDonald's with vegan chain Hart House. We talked a good bit about this. It's what inspired the name of our fast food restaurant, Plant House, one day, which we may one day launch should we get around to it. Mm-hmm. What I didn't realize is that his goal with the vegan concept is to compete with McDonald's. I had not heard that before. It seems like a lofty goal. Not that I'm against lofty goals, but apparently that's what he's doing. And he's got 2 locations now. So he's on the way.
Off to a good start. No, no. I mean, it's probably just something you say, right? Like you want to be the next McDonald's, but
maybe. I don't even know if he said it. Maybe Veg News just said it. That's his goal.
But yeah, we've talked a lot about this one. It's exciting. I hope to try it one day.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 is Paul McCartney demands Starbucks drop vegan milk upcharge. Talked a lot about that one.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the milk charge. I don't know if we've mentioned Paul McCartney's role in it, but of course he is one of the vocal, people who's speaking out against it. He, of course, is a PETA guy. Does some PETA ads sometimes.
Is he vegan? I guess he is.
I'm pretty sure he is, and I think his daughter, if I'm not mistaken, I just assumed it was his daughter, Stella McCartney. She is like a designer and works with Adidas to make vegan versions of different shoes and things. So I think that family is vegan. Not positive, but I believe he's vegan. All right, number 3, Lizzo helps us shop for vegan groceries on Instacart. Lizzo's another one who I don't really know because I think she is a TikTok star.
No. Lizzo's a musician.
But I think she was a TikTok. That's how she became a musician. Like that's how she got popular. Could that be? Because I tried to find she was in the news a bunch for saying she was on a plant-based diet, but it wasn't having to do with weight loss. That was not her goal. And that was the headline that was showing up in all these different sites. And I was curious, like, why is that interesting that that's someone's goal? But it turns out she's just so famous that people are interested in anything she says. And so what I found out, I thought, was that she was a TikTok music star who'd gotten big because of TikTok. But,
that's possible. But she's one of the biggest artists and has been for a while. I think Lizzo has far exceeded her TikTok fame.
Okay, more so than Tabitha Brown.
I would think so. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
fair
not.
Enough.
Maybe not.
Who knows? Anyway, but the headline of what she did was this thing with Instacart. She helps us shop for vegan groceries on Instacart. Sorry, not Instacart. They teamed up, launched the groceries platform, new feature carts, which gave users access to celebrity-curated shopping lists. And she had lots of accidentally vegan snacks like Takis, Skittles, Oreos, and some on-purpose vegan products like Ben & Jerry's vegan cherry Garcia ice cream. I mean, that's not very healthy food at all. But I guess, like you said, she's not in this for the weight loss and maybe not for health either. I don't know, based on that snack list. But hopefully she had plenty of fruits and, as you've said, Doug, the actual plant-based products are not these junk food plant-based products or fake meats or fake cheeses. They're the fruits and vegetables and beans and nuts and seeds. So hopefully she had plenty of that in there too. But I think that was happening. All this Instacart thing was probably before. That was in August. So we were just getting started back then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Mr. Jeffrey says she's a big woman, so people assume anything she's doing is to lose weight. Okay. So that would be why those headlines were, why that was the headline. All right. And then Steven says he wouldn't agree to appear on The Simpsons unless Lisa remained vegetarian. Oh, that was okay. That was Paul McCartney. So that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that. All right. Number 4, another headline that I just kept seeing and really never was interested enough to do it. Clint Eastwood touts climate benefits of plant-based diet. That one, still, if you Google plant-based diet news, which is hint, that's what I do for most of the planning of this show. You still find that on like page 8 of that. It doesn't go away, that story. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I guess because he was so famous back in his day. Is he still an actor? I don't know.
Yeah, of course he is.
Okay, just didn't know. So anyway, he touts the climate benefits. That's a headline, I guess. Number 5, Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian. Barker's top vegan eats in LA. So I think this is where Veg News, they're calling the headlines, they wrote the headlines. So right, this wasn't news, but they wrote a story about their top vegan eats and they linked to that here. Travis Barker was the Blink-182 drummer. I guess he still is. I don't really know. Any celebrity sort of knowledge I have is from 1995 era. So what was going on then, right? Like, that's what I know. I don't know anything about now. So he was that, but I think he's gotten into other stuff. Kourtney Kardashian is a Kardashian.
He's around a lot. I like see him all over the place. Play drums with different people and kind of doing. He's still very much in the mainstream more than the rest of Blink-182 is. Although Blink-182, aren't they back on tour or something?
I think they did. But Tom DeLonge left and they brought in Matt Skiba, I think, from Alkaline Trio, which was an interesting fit. I listened to some of that music. It just didn't sound like Blink-182 anymore. I mean, it kind of did, but I couldn't listen to it. Anyway, he was a great drummer. He is a great drummer, I think. I always loved him in 1995, 1999 era. He's done a really good job of like you said, making himself become a celebrity. I mean, now he's married to a Kardashian. It just, and he was into like the hardcore punk, like the serious punk music. And then Blink-182 found him whatever way they did, to, put him into pop punk world. But he's done a good job of branding himself. And they are definitely very outspoken vegans. I do see them all the time on Veg News and stuff. Usually just don't talk about it because celebrity stuff is just not that interesting. Number 6. Hey, I just talked about this. Tabitha Brown's McCormick Sunshine Seasoning hits stores. This is probably where I had seen it. But like I said, that's hugely big time. To me, that's bigger than the cooking shows and the New York Times bestsellers and all that. Because I don't think just anybody gets a seasoning.
Garlic, ginger, pineapple, and mango.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Wonder if it's made by Notco, and the AI told her to put the pineapple in there.
Maybe. Sounds pretty good.
By the way,
I'll try that.
Jeff said earlier that Notco's milk does involve pineapple. That's one of the ingredients in their milks. So that's happening. All right, let's wrap up here. Gordon Ramsay. This is kind of a cool one. He's, to me, seems like would be the most anti-vegan type of chef there is. Kind of in the same way that Anthony Bourdain was, just not in favor of vegan diet. I thought it was sort of disrespectful to the cultures and to cooking in general, to be that limited in your diet and not accept food if it was not up to your standards, even when those standards had to do with cruelty. So I don't know. I guess Gordon Ramsay, with the way he yells and all the time on Hell's Kitchen and whatever else he has done, you just wouldn't think he'd be sympathetic to vegans, but he is, and he's all about it. I don't know if he is vegan, but he's definitely makes vegan dishes, including Bang Bang cauliflower. I think later in this headline list, he's here again for some kind of vegan. Yeah, he made a vegan steak from eggplant, and he's on for that. So very surprising. So I think we can stop there. I mean, then Snoop Dogg's vegan hot dogs. This is a long time ago before we were doing the show, so I don't know that one. Mark Cuban.
I had I forget where I saw this. It was a little clip. It might have been on Veg News or Plant Based News. It was Snoop Dogg. They asked Snoop.
I can now. I did not hear that story, but the podcast people will.
To eat vegan meat, and he's like, I just sneak it in, and yeah, it was really funny. It was really good.
Is he vegan?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very good.
And yeah.
All right.
That's all I got.
Good. Jeffrey Hudnall says that Blink-182 announced a tour next summer and reunited with the original lineup. So that's kind of cool. I'm not going to go see them, but that's cool. And then Mr. Jeffrey says, "Is Mark Cuban vegan?" I don't think he's vegan. I think he has liked vegan products. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
I do often hear about him saying he likes some oat milk machine or whatever.
Yeah, he's on this list a lot. Are these just the most viewed articles? What is this?
I don't know, because they have a lot of repeats. Like Courtney and Travis are repeated. So I don't really know. And then Mr. Jeffrey says that his daughters had a huge part in getting him to do more vegan food. I think that's Gordon Ramsay. Jeffrey Huddle says, I'm pretty sure an idiot sandwich made by Gordon Ramsay is not vegan. So I don't know what that is, but I guess it's not vegan. Mr. Beast is on here, made a vegan chocolate line. I don't know about Mr. Beast, except you mentioned him once, Doug, about something.
Man, you are so far removed from anything that's happening.
I have no idea. I have very, very narrow lanes that I stay in. If something makes its way in, I see it, but I don't usually investigate.
Yep. He's the most subscribed to YouTuber.
Okay. Well, it's got to be a lot of money then.
Yep.
Cool. But he doesn't have a plant-based morning show like we do. He doesn't have a daily show with Mr. Jeffrey and Jeffrey Hudnall and Jackie with the Magic Hands, and who else? Steven. I don't know. I hate to leave people out. Whole Health Experience.
Yep.
Jody Shuck. Bianca. Aaron P. Fraser. Bianca. Yes. It's a lot. Yeah. So he doesn't have all them. He may have his vegan chocolate line, but doesn't have that.
No, he does not.
All right. I think we have sufficiently gone off the rails here, Doug. Let's wrap it up. Tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow, of course. Either tomorrow or Friday, we'll hit a last-minute Christmas gift idea because we are getting kind of down to the wire with that stuff and some vegan party tips, how to survive vegan Christmas parties, which we all need for sure.
Perfect. Sounds great. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go pick it outside our local Burger King until they turn on online ordering, so I can get that deal.
Okay, you're like the next Paul McCartney. You're demanding that they turn on their app.
I am. You know, it's possible I might have to sleep there overnight tonight. So tomorrow's show might be live from the Burger King parking lot. We'll see.
Good. I hope you do. You make the news if you do. You make this news anyway.
But what if I cement my feet to the?
There you go. Yeah, and make it a vegan thing.
Yeah.
Say they were conspiring against vegans by not having an app. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everyone, and we will talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.